What old video games do you still play regularly? Mario Kart and Super Mario 64 on the N64. Took us forever as kids to figure out you had to jump into the paintings to get anywhere. There's one level that the painting is really small, up in the tower I think towards the last Bowser. It's the level where you have to change the water level up and down. I was following some game guide as a kid. This was back when it was released, and I could not for the life of me figure out why I couldn't find the painting. I was looking for a huge one like all the others. Sid Meier Alpha Centauri. Looks like crap now, but the ability to create your own units, all the technologies with the great voice acting. This was the game that got me reading books about philosophy, and for that alone it gets a replay. Also it is still one of the highest rated games of all time. Cotter 1/2 and Morrowind are always ones I have to revisit every few years. Can't believe I had to scroll too far to find Cotter. Seems like those games were the last gasp of game designers trying to create narratives that would play out differently based on the choices the player made. The members who would join your team, whether they became force sensitive, whether they became good or evil, whether or not they betrayed you at some point, all were variable based on the choices you made over the course of gameplay. I can play that game today and still get different plot lines I never saw before. They truly don't make them like that anymore. I do quick playthroughs of Pokemon Red and Gold from time to time. I do this with OG Gold, did it every year for a long time, but stopped since fresh cartridges became harder to find, and I could never bring myself to wipe a save file for cartridge reuse. So now it's once every 3 to 5 years. I did Silver once or twice as well, but have hyperfixated on Gold for some reason. I played and enjoyed several gens after this, and did play and enjoy Heart Gold, but at the risk of sounding like an old fogey or glorified gen winner, still nothing has come close yet to the original Johto games. Doom and Doom 2. I beat all of Doom 1 on Ultra Violence for the first time ever around Thanksgiving. I was so proud of myself. Bought the Doom 3 BFG edition, so I beat Doom 3 on Veteran and all the expansions, then beat Doom on UV, and now I'm halfway through Doom 2 on OV, but it's really fucking hard, so I took a break, haha. It's crazy how good pretty much every Doom game has been in some form or another. Doom 64 has even had a revival. People don't like Doom 3 as much, but it's an amazing horror shooter with really challenging levels, so I think it's a worthy Doom game. Still haven't played the new ones yet, but I've heard good things. Master of Orient 2. Probably the best 4X game. The first one was a little cumbersome and has your classic check the instructions to answer the question DRM, while the third one is politely called Excel, the game. Master of Orient 2 had the right balance of ship design, cost/benefit in planet building, natural choke points to start galactic conflicts, hard choices in research development, as well as the ever fun gold rush to be the first to colonize tech-rich Orion. Also, if that wasn't enough, brutal raiders would keep on appearing trying to wipe your species off the galactic map. You can create a race shape-shifting spies, high-gravity ground shock troopers, psychics that can see the whole galaxy, rock-eating silicon-based life forms, or humans. You can also build Death Star-level weapons and obliterate entire planets from existence. Fun ways to play. Colonize every tiny planet, give it to your enemies in a trade deal, nuke it with a stellar cannon, then finally rebuild a large artificial planet that has a higher population cap. Mini stellar cannons on every ship, then reenact Star Wars 20 years before it was cool. Get elected emperor, refuse, then fight an 8-front war. No research run where you have to spy/conquer to earn all your tech. Boarding, stealing, and scrapping an entire raider at the beginning of the game can give you endgame tech right off the bat. Seriously, if you like 4X games, you should play Master of Orient 2. Star Control 2. One of the best games of all time, no exaggeration. Role-playing, exploration, space combat, ship customization, and a truly excellent story with tons of lore to discover by talking to the more than a dozen alien races throughout the galaxy. Surprisingly funny too, some real amusing writing in there. And free. The creators released the source code to the public in 2002, and a 100% free HD fan remake totally compatible with modern systems is available. Look up Urquan Masters HD. The name Star Control is still under copyright, hence the name change. Still a hell of a fun game after all these years. Children of the Nile, Pharaoh, Zeus, Poseidon, Roller Coaster Tycoon 2 is the best. Zoo Tycoon, with the dinosaur add-in. It's a bummer that no laptops come with a CD drive anymore. I have to use my external to run most of the games I still play. Children of the Nile is now through Steam, so once I loaded the game to my hard drive, it now runs through Steam. Only drawback is you have to have internet. I can't just pop in the CD and play. Blee. Every now and again, I'll play Super Mario Bros. Just to see if I can beat my old records. IRC, I've beaten the game with warps in 11 minutes, and without warps at 40 something minutes. Super Mario World, I like to get 100% completion for the umpteenth, just because I can. It's hilarious to me to see the 3 save slots on my cartridge all say 96 goals, meaning that there is absolutely nothing left to do with this cartridge. Beyond that, I mean, oh god, there's so many old games that I replay because I don't consciously think of them as old games. They're just simply games that gave me loads of joy, and I'd like to experience that joy again. Ocarina of Time, Majora's Mask, A Link to the Past, Mario 2 and 3, Mario, The Lost Levels, DuckTales, Dr. Mario, Donkey Kong Country 1 and 2, Final Fantasy 2nd, 4th, Myst, Riven, Myst 3rd, Exile, Grim Fandango, The Last Express, Super Mario 64, The New Tetris, GoldenEye 007, Star Fox 64. Tony Hawk's Pro Skater, Star Wars, Shadows of the Empire, Star Wars Rogue Squadron 2nd, Rogue Leader, Star Wars Episode I, Racer, Luigi's Mansion, Jest, The Wind Waker, Twilight Princess, Eternal Darkness, Metroid Prime 123, Star Fox Assault, F-Zero GX, Super Castlevania 4th, Super Mario Galaxy 1 and 2, just to name a few. My wife bought me Pokemon Stadium on N64 for Christmas. I'm 31, so that has taken up my rainy days after work recently. Gym leaders plus Final Four are actually pretty hard to get through, unless you really know all strengths/weaknesses. Had to use some tips from the web. Jolteon ended up being my best Pokemon throughout. Love Star Fox 64 too. I would play Goldeneye, but nowadays whenever I play I get motion sick after 20 minutes. Knights of the Old Republic and KOTOR 2. I didn't play any video games growing up, but my SO did and still does. He wanted to be able to share his interests with me, and he threw KOTOR would be a good game for me to start with. He was totally right. I really enjoyed it, because it was story driven and the mechanics were similar to D&D, so I already knew how it worked. I could also go at my own pace, and in fights I can button mash against low level opponents, and for harder opponents that require strategy I can pause the battle to set all my moves and the game plays them out for me. KOTOR 2 improved some of their mechanics, and was also really enjoyable for me to play, although I didn't enjoy the story as much as the first one. Both games are still really fun for me to play through, even though they are 17 to 18 years old. Just recently got back into WoW after I stopped playing in 2013, and it's never been more friendly to newer players. Got to max level in a really short amount of time in comparison to back in the day, and it comes with access to WoW Classic, so you can still go back and experience the difference in the versions. Definitely worth the price, and you really only need to sub once, because it's super easy to make lots of gold now, and there's lots of guides on doing it, which will allow you to buy a *WoW token from the auction house in game, which is valued at roughly 120k gold, so you can grind gold for a week or two and not have to worry about your sub running out for months. This game isn't necessarily old, but it is a dead game. Little Big Planet 2 is a diamond in the rough. Little Big Planet 1 isn't developed enough, and Little Big Planet 3 is glitched af, but LBP 2? Mwah. Gold. It's great for speedrunning, hanging out, creativity, story, mods, indies in training, costume designers, and a variety of different people. It's so sad that it used to be 20,000 people online at a time, but now you get lucky if you find anything near 1,000. I only have 2 wishes in this world, one of them being the resurgence of LBP2. The reason I decide to come back, though, I've met great people over the platform. That and I really like the music making you can do. So please, Reddit, why not hop on LBP2 and try it out? You will not be disappointed. You'll know you found me if you see a Fundy cosplay. The only one on there that has it. I'll be waiting.